All right, welcome to the last three 3x3s of the three 3x3s I'll be doing, and this time, you guessed it, anime, which I mentioned in the video before. So if you like videos like this and want to see more, please like, comment, and subscribe, as it really does help out the channel. And let me know what your 3x3s are, what you would recommend after seeing this, and what you want to see next. So without further ado, let's jump into it. My criteria for rating, the things I consider when rating each anime and putting them on my list. Art of the anime, the characters in the anime, the watchability, it'll make more sense in a little bit what that means, the voice acting / animation, weird to combine them, I know, but I think art kind of separates, as in it could also be background, it could be how certain fights are playing out and stuff like that. Character design I think is different, but a part of art, and I think the animation is also different from the characters and such. And then finally, story. So I mean, if you guys can think of a better way to break down a pie chart like this, let me know. I'm open to suggestions. First and foremost is the Fate franchise, but I'm gonna just put specifically Fate Zero as my favorite. Studio, UFO Table, or as I used to call it, Ufotable for some reason. Its genre is action, dark fantasy. It has 25 episodes and 2 seasons, and it is completed. Premise is 7 mages or masters summon servants, reincarnated heroes, to fight in a deadly battle to the death in the 4th Holy Grail War, for the chance to have a single wish granted by the legendary Holy Grail. And these servants that are summoned are people from history. So, we got Alexander the Great, King Arthur, as an example. The good and bad of it. I think in general, it is an amazing franchise with a stellar story, iconic story, and it's been going on for, I think, what, at least 2007 or something like that, maybe even before. Still holds up. I mean, this anime doesn't necessarily hold up animation wise, but the story is still great. I do think, again, this is a for example with a picture, but Studio UFO Table is doing Demon Slayer currently. Top tier animation. I mean, goodness gracious, some of the stuff that you see out of their work is truly amazing. Now, I will say there is a stigma that it is possibly hard to get into. It's not that hard to get into. People just kind of hype it up because there's so many of them. I mean, you can start with the original Fate Stay Night and then go into Unlimited Blade Works and then Fate Zero, and then you should be fine to get a good concept of Fate. And if you like it, continue from there. I will say there are a few ippy scenes throughout Fate, mainly because it started as I'm pretty sure an adult visual novel, and some of that stuff carries through. But other than that, I mean, it's fine. Just can never look at bugs the same way. If you know, you know. Next, Future Diary. Oh, okay, I did say the studio, my bad. Studio is Asread. Genre is mystery, thriller, survival, romance. It is at 26 episodes in 1 season. Status is completed. Premise is Yukiteru Amano, a shy middle schooler whose cell phone diary begins to predict future events. He learns he is one of 12 people chosen by Deus Ex Machina, the god of time, to participate in a survival game. The contestants, each given a future diary with unique abilities to see the future, must fight to be the last one standing to become the next god of time and space. So, I think despite what you hear, I found it to be actually an interesting and entertaining story. I'm gonna skip points a little bit. It is clowned on for being edgy. I think that's looking back, but at the time, I don't think there's many anime like this. Definitely not. Probably not. I do also think it was kind of the forefront, or what put the yandere character type on the map, despite what people may say with Higurashi, or I'm sure I can think of another one, but I think this anime was a lot of firsts, and if not, a lot of uniques, and it made it first. But the story, it's completed, no loose ends, and not even a bad ending. I think it was just all around good. I do think it has some great characters and waifus, specifically, what was that? The purple hair girl who, again, not Yuno Gasai, but she's not bad either. I think she's number 3 or number 4 diary holder, but if you guys seen it, you know, and if you go watch it, you'll agree with me. Each of its 2 openings, straight up bangers. Very, very good, very iconic music. Great in a workout. And then back to point number 5, again, it does get clowned on for being edgy, but I think it's just looking back, people are like, this is so stupid. And then there's a famous, I think Scamboli reviews, he clowned on it, but I think he actually liked it because he made a video on it. So if he sees this, you know, you know. Next is Vinland Saga. Its studio for the first season is Wit, and then followed by Mappa Studio on Netflix. Genre is seinen and action. It's at 48 episodes with 2 seasons, but currently it is ongoing with a 3rd season announced in 2026 or 2027. Premise is Thorfinn, a young boy who vows revenge after his father is killed by the Viking leader Askeladd. He joins Askeladd's mercenary band to hone his fighting skills and earn the right to duel his father's murderer, only to become a brutal warrior caught in a cycle of violence. The story explores Thorfinn's profound transformation from a hate-filled revenge seeker to a man who seeks a peaceful future, ultimately striving to build a land without conflict. A Vinland, if you will. Now here's the good and bad. Truly a masterclass in story. These 2 points are going to combine, but it starts as a story about revenge and it just leads to so much more without spoiling it. Its pacing is great, the characters are great. It's following Thorfinn throughout his whole life, and we're only getting a snippet of it now, but eventually we'll get the whole completed picture. Teaches really good philosophy of good and evil, what it means to be a man, and in Vinland Saga specifically, it does showcase Christianity and Thorfinn changing to it, specifically in season 2, or at least coming around to it and learning about it, which I also think is really cool as someone who's religious. And it's kind of a great example, if you will, of both maybe a violent or a bad person trying to become a better person through good deeds and religion. I don't like that people hate or dislike season 2 because they don't get it. First season, tons of action. First season, tons of action, and second season is just quote unquote the farming arc. And I think people just don't understand what Vinland Saga is truly about, which is you have no enemies without spoiling it. And I think that's so profound and powerful that I guess people in a lot of ways are like Thorfinn and are stuck in season 1 when they're I'm trying to be like season 10 Thorfinn, you know. I think if you want an average adult who's probably never seen anime to get into anime, Vinland Saga is one of the ones that I recommend. And then last point, there's a time in my life where I wasn't in contact with my family for about 7 years, but when I got back in contact with them, we started bonding over anime, and this is one of the first ones we watched and truly bonded over, I guess, as 2 adults. And it was just really good and really special. So it was very sweet, and it will forever hold a place in my heart. Now, speaking of another one, Star Blazers, aka Battleship Yamamoto 2099. This is a remaster of the original Star Blazers. The studio is AIC and EBOT. Genre space opera sci-fi. Episodes are 52 with 4 seasons. It is completed. The premise is after evil aliens have attacked and devastated Earth, the space battleship Yamato must leave on its great voyage to faraway Iskandar to retrieve a device that will return Earth to its former beauty. Now, with that, what a beautiful, simple, and clean story. The opening, to jump to this point, kind of go watch the opening. You get the whole premise of the show in that it literally says what's going to happen, kind of basically, and you can't help but enjoy it. It also has tons of great characters, again, great morals, philosophy of maybe nations or people at war, trying to become allies, fighting for the greater good, making sacrifices, some really good lessons, disobeying orders if you need to, or obeying orders if you have to. Lots of good examples. I also think that the series isn't talked about a lot, even though I don't know if it came before Gundam, but definitely around the time of Gundam. It came out in 1974, the original, and it was super popular in America as well around that time, I believe, when it was coming out, which was also kind of cool. So a 50-year-old anime, but I feel like unfortunately no one knows a lot about it, so hopefully this video will at least get a couple new fans with that. Next is Bleach. Studio is Period. You may recognize them from Boruto. Its genre is shonen action. It has 406 episodes. This is including filler, and 20 seasons including filler, and this is not counting 1000-year Blood War arc. Status is ongoing. Premise follows a high schooler named Ichigo Kurosaki who can see ghosts as he gains the power of a soul reaper, Shinigami, from a dying soul reaper named Rukia Kuchiki. He takes on Rukia's duties of defending humans from evil spirits called Hollows and guiding good souls to the afterlife, leading him on an adventure that reveals the supernatural world and his own spiritual abilities. Now, for some people this may be a hot take, but for me, it's always been an easy answer. Out of the big 3, Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach, Bleach stands on top, Naruto, One Piece. One Piece is overhyped. I watched definitely to the whole cake arc of One Piece. It is not good. People are lying to you who say they enjoy One Piece. Or they're trying to be cool because it's the next big thing, like, you know. But that's One Piece. We're talking about Bleach. I think it really does have a great story. Even some of the filler arcs are good. Again, what, the Banto arc or whatever it was called, the vampire one, filler, that was good. I enjoyed it anyway. Even though I didn't understand what filler was at the time, I still thought it was good. Soul Society arc, Fullbringer arc wasn't that great in comparison. And then the Espada arc, again, people may say, well, it's the same thing. You go, someone gets kidnapped, Ichigo gets stronger, blah, 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 blah. Well, if you boil down things, it's not as fun. But if you're just like, oh, it's a cool fight, it's a great story. I think it has tons of cool concepts. Basically, the Zanpakuto in general are pretty cool. People can say it's Super Saiyan or whatever, but I mean, Naruto glowed gold while Ichigo kind of kept his own and did his own cool thing. So that's all I'm going to say. And it wasn't necessarily transformations, but it kind of turned into that for some, but it's a really cool story and really cool concepts. Musics and quotes from the anime go hard. Call me a gatekeeper or whatever. I hate seeing people use the specifically like, why do people hate the rain? Or do you know why I hate the rain, Ichigo? And like the sad piano music, I forget the name of the OST specifically, but I enjoyed it before it was cool. That's all I'm trying to say. And it's annoying to find people who, I guess, just use it without knowing. That makes me sound like a hater, but oh well. Main attraction, #1, super good. Some of the openings are really, really good, while others are kind of bomb. I think the endings are actually better in Bleach, surprisingly. Great OST, memorable OST, and it really does stand out. It's still good to this day. Only really real downside is it took 10 years for the series to finish. Exactly 10 years from the final Fullbringer arc to, in the anime, 2000 Year Blood War arc. So, it's not finished yet though. I think there's going to be 4 or 5 seasons of the 1000 Year Blood War arc, and I'm on season 2 right now. So we'll see how that goes. Next is Jobless Reincarnation, or Mushoku Tensei. Its studio is Bind. Its genre is isekai fantasy, adventure. Episodes are at 48, seasons are at 2, and status is ongoing. Premise follows a 34-year-old shut-in NEET who dies after being hit by a truck only to be reincarnated as a baby, Rudius Grey Rat. In a fantasy world with his adult memories intact, he resolves to live his new life without regrets, using his past knowledge and newfound magical abilities to build a successful and fulfilling future. The story explores his childhood development and growth, focusing on attempts to leave his past failures behind. I think hands down, this is the best isekai story. I'm going to jump to this point real quick. It is the grandfather before Sword Art Online, before how he got reincarnated as a slime, like before all of those, No Game No Life. This was the grandfather to it. I think it has stellar and beautiful animation, great character designs as well. I believe it was a light novel first and then adapted into a manga and then an anime, or it could be light novel, anime, manga, but I'm not sure on that one. It does have its controversies, but I don't care personally, because how do I word this without sounding horrible? Not everything is made for everybody. If you don't like it, it doesn't mean you have to ruin it for other people, and people are free to like their own when it's a show. People enjoy Game of Thrones and they're not canceling that, even though there's tons of horrible things in that. Or people aren't canceling Breaking Bad because there's tons of horrible things in that, or The Sopranos, or name any other big show. Lots of shows have lots of different things, lots of good, lots of bad. And I think for some reason people just kind of go crazy when it comes to anime, but that's just me. That's my 2 cents. Another point is I love the studio commitment. Specifically, it was this animation or anime studio was made for Jobless Reincarnation, and they're committed to finishing it to the end. And I think unlike other isekais, it's actually trying to tell a story of a character who has regret in a past life and was a horrible person and is trying to be better. And I think it's not just I'm making a harem, or I'm going to defeat the demon lord or whatever. It's truly just I'm in another life. How can I live this one to the fullest and be the best I can be? Next is Afro Samurai. The studio is Gonzo. Genre is action dark fantasy. It only has 5 episodes in 1 season, including a movie. Its status is complete. Premise follows Afro, a black samurai in a futuristic yet feudal Japan, as he embarks on a solitary quest to avenge the wrongful death of his father. who is murdered by the world's #1 fighter, Justice. Afro wears the #2 headband, the only item that allows him to challenge the #1 headband wearer, which is Justice, and is hunted by various enemies along his path to confronting Justice at the top of a mountain. The good and the bad. The vibe and aesthetic to Afro Samurai, I've never seen anything like it except maybe in Samurai Champloo. And that's just, I've seen the intro to Samurai Champloo, never watched it. But that's the only thing I can think of that comes relatively close to that pure vibe of hip hop and rap and anime. Samurais, I mean, they're everywhere, but Afro Samurai is, to me, iconic and memorable. It is a good, simple, clean story of there's a clear goal and he makes it there, and there's a couple hiccups along the way, and I won't spoil the ending, but it is pretty good. I don't think it's too terribly long for that story, and it's not too short as well. It is based on a manga, which was also practically very short as well. Yeah, but with the movie in total, I think it's 3 hours total of content. So an hour and a half, 5 episodes, and then an hour and a half movie, and it was perfect. Definitely, probably my all-time favorite OST. It was made by RZA. I say in a video RZA at the time. Forgive me, I didn't know. But he makes great music. Wu-Tang. White boy likes rap, I know. If I had to think of my favorite song, it's hard to pick, but maybe Bloody Samurai or Take the Sword Part 2. But Nappy Afro, Kill Kill Kill, Certified Samurai. I mean, all of them are good. Brother's Keeper, really, really good. And my final point is I don't think it is talked about enough. I think it's slept on. There was a video game made, surprisingly, but that flopped as well. It's just, maybe it's because it's so different to anime. I mean, I guess there's obvious reasons why it wouldn't do well in Japan necessarily, but in the West, I would think it would have done a lot better. But I'm still keeping it alive. I'm still a fan. I'll talk about it any chance I get. Next is #2, Monster. Studio is Madhouse. Genre is thriller, suspense, psychological horror. Episodes are at 74 and season is at 1. It is completed. The premise is a brilliant Japanese neurosurgeon is drawn into darkness when he tries to solve a series of murders involving a patient whose life he once saved. Now, the good and the bad. I'm not going to go into too much depth because I'm going to actually do an in-depth video about this next video. So after this video, my whole Monster anime review will come out. So I'm going to keep this one super basic. It has an amazing story with great morals and philosophy. I really don't want to go into it because I'm going to do a video literally right after this talking about it. So just wait till tomorrow and the video will come out. But it has a great cast of characters, all very memorable. Really my only complaints are, I think the animation is very dated. Character design wise, it was fine, but it could use a cleanup. Really, besides the opening and maybe one like song motif when there's a reveal, all the other music is very weak. Architecture in the anime though is great. The background's beautiful, and I do have mixed feelings on the ending. Again, I hate to do this, but it really is in my top tier of animes after watching it, hence why I'm doing an anime review about it. So, but that doesn't say anything. Let that speak for itself. Last but not least, at #1, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Studio is Bones. Genre adventure, drama, and fantasy. Its episodes are at 64 with 1 season, and its status is complete. Premise follows brothers Edward and Alfonso Elric, who attempt a forbidden human transmutation to resurrect their dead mother, resulting in Edward losing a leg and Alfonso his entire body. He also lost his arm. To restore their lost bodies, the brothers search for the legendary Philosopher's Stone, while Edward, known as the Fullmetal Alchemist, becomes a state alchemist and joins the military, only to uncover a nationwide conspiracy at the heart of their country's history. Good and the bad. Personally, I still think it's the GOAT and gateway anime. On my anime list, it was ranked #1 for years and years and years until Frieren came along, and I think that's also a stellar and great anime, but I think Fullmetal Alchemist deserves its seat. It has a phenomenal story from start to finish. It doesn't hang on too long. There's tons of twists and turns, great characters, iconic moments. I mean, there's a reason it was #1 on a list. I think if I had to recommend an anime for the longest time, it would have been Fullmetal Alchemist. It was also one of the first anime that I watched that really got me into anime and like, oh, this is more than just Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or something like that. Or even Dragon Ball. I mean, this was a serious story with like things you had to remember, not, oh, I'm just getting stronger and fighting. Openings are iconic and memorable as well. Now, there is a downside, and whenever I think of Fullmetal Alchemist and Dragon Ball for Broly, Vic Mignogna, or however you pronounce his name, sorry if I butchered it, there is a controversy to the main voice actor who voices Ed. Basically there's allegations, and I don't know if they were ever founded upon or not. I think it was a pretty sketchy situation. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he really did anything wrong. I don't think anything was ever proven. I could be wrong, but I think he was innocent, probably, and I think he got the short end of the stick. I find it awfully convenient that they kept him for Broly, because no one else will play Broly until I think the actor of Ichigo, the English voice actor Josh something or whatever his name is, could fill the role afterwards, and then they kick him out. I don't know, for Dragon Ball Super Broly. And then I guess he hasn't done really anything ever since. But I mean, iconic English voice actor, and then just swiped off like that. So they say it's some eternal beef or sexual allegations. I don't know. I still like the anime regardless of that. And then my final point is that the original Full Metal Alchemist, not Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, gets slept on. I thought, even though it's not an official ending, which is what Brotherhood was supposed to be to the manga artist, I thought it was still pretty good. And openings were good in that one too. And even though the story was, I guess, vastly different going through, both still hold up mostly. I mean, Brotherhood more, of course, but again, the original was not bad at all. So conclusion, go watch these anime. Each are at minimum 8 out of 10, more 10s than not. Send me your 3x3s either through Discord, X, or Reddit. Let me know what you guys thought, what you guys would recommend, and what 3x3 do you want to see next. If I had to recommend 3 anime from this bunch, easy Vinland Saga. I would have said Afro Samurai for the longest time, but probably not until you like are a little more familiar with anime. Monster, definitely. I think just for fun, I would recommend Future Diary. I think those 3 are great introductions to anime. Thank you guys very much for watching. Again, next video will be Monster, hence why I didn't really cover that one as much. And then, yeah, like I said in the conclusion, just let me know what you guys think, what you want to see next. And yeah, so thank you for watching. I've been Boog the Goob. May God bless you, and peace.